How's it? Welcome back. So let's hop into the first official video on this new series that we're doing for the channel, specifically looking at erotic lucid dreams. And so where to start? There's so many different avenues and directions I can take this thing, but a good place to start, I was thinking, was talking a little bit about why this is such a popular thing for people to do within their lucid dreams. Like, this has to be the #1 most sought after experience for lucid dreamers, even above like flying and things like that. So we'll talk a little bit about why I think that is. And to get the really obvious one out of the way first, it just feels really good, right? Like, it is one of the most pleasurable experiences to be had in this human experience of ours. So of course, it's going to be really high up on that to-do list once you realize you can do literally anything you want. But then on top of that, for a lot of people, when they start to have their first lucid dreams, and this is the case for me, at least when I started to have them like semi-consistently, which ended up being like once a month or so. When I was like 6 or 7, I would get this recurring nightmare that after I had it the first time, once it started, I knew what I was in for, but I wasn't able to influence or change it. I just had to suffer through it from beginning to end. But for the majority of people, when they start having their first lucid dreams, it tends to be in early adolescence, preteen time frame, right? And when you're going through that stage in life, your hormones are through the roof. So of course, sex and things like that are going to be on your mind all the time anyway. But then you add on top of that, that when we are in REM, for both males and females, you're in a naturally aroused state anyway. So it's going to be even more on your mind. And this is a little bit off topic, but like when I'm dealing with insomnia, right, what oftentimes happens is I start dreaming of being awake in bed, having a hard time going to sleep. But at some point in that process, I did actually, at least for, some period of time, I did fall asleep, but I just didn't realize because I was dreaming of, being in bed trying to fall asleep. But a good way to check this and see if you actually did fall asleep or not, at least for men, it's a really easy check. You just stick your hand down your pants and see if you're aroused or not. If you are, then hey, guess what? You were actually asleep. But, that being the case, right, early adolescence, you start having these wet dreams. It can be a really powerful experience. And then, this is probably too much information, but at least for me personally, I had my first wet dreams before I figured out how to take care of business on my own while I was awake. So just imagine how powerful of an experience that was and how much it made me want to go after having them more and more and more. And we'll get into this topic a bit more later in a separate video, but it can start to lead to like a roadblock in your dream work practice or in your lucid dreaming practice, where you'll just default and you'll have this super strong habit of just trying to have sex with everything you can within your lucid dreams, and it'll be hard to progress kind of past that roadblock. But we'll address that in a later video. But yeah, that's kind of the main points I wanted to point out there. And I think we'll close it off with this. I definitely don't see anything wrong, with having wet dreams and pursuing that in your practice. Now, of course, it can kind of go down a more bad negative path because you can literally do anything in your lucid dreams. You can do whatever you want. You can kind of take this down a dark, more negative path, and that can start to have, ramifications in your waking life and things like that. But, on the flip side, you can also have them be amazingly wonderful, pure love-filled sex scenarios as well. So, everything's on the table. But nonetheless, that's why I think it is so popular. And that's it. Until the next video, keep your lucid dreaming practice legit.